Thank you, Paula. Good morning and welcome to the Sunday morning service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of San Miguel de Allende. Welcome all of you joining us today, wherever you are. We are located in the lands of the Chichimeca, Otomí, and Nahua peoples and are making community by Zoom in Canada and the United States and across Mexico. Whether you run in on little feet, march in, struggle in, or are rolled in, you are welcome here. Whatever your religious background or lack of one, your gender identity, and whoever you love, you can bring your whole self here. My name is Nora Cohen. I'm a member of the Sunday Services Committee, and I'll be the service leader today. After the service, those on Zoom are invited to stay connected and visit with others in the main room. Those who are with us at the Aldea can join us for coffee and cookies over here. We need cookie bakers or buyers to make sure that you have treats to enjoy. So there's a sign-up sheet on that table. We have some visitors here today. Are the cards for the visitors, Diana? Do you have the cards for the visitors?
There are no cards for the visitors. We're just having people stand up.
Okay. Then if we have any visitors here today, would you please stand so we can greet you during coffee hour? Welcome. And if we have any visitors on Zoom, please type your name into the chat box so we can greet you later. We do record our Sunday services, our in-person services. Just go to the website UUFSMA.org and click on services at the top and then previous services. And while on the website, please check out the various events and small groups sponsored by the fellowship and information on how to become a member. Next Sunday, February 4th, as Mexico celebrates Candelaria with flowers, we will have our own uniquely UU flower celebration called Flower Communion. Please plan to bring 1 or 2 flowers to add to our large bouquet. Afterwards, we'll each be invited to take a different flower in celebration of beauty and diversity. We will also be welcoming new members as part of this service. Also, please remember that next Sunday we will have a membership meeting following the service, and more information will be sent to you. We're very happy to have our own Carolyn Simsarian today presenting the transformative effects of volunteering, tendering the tightrope. The talk is based on a newly published book she wrote with Diane Hart, and I can assure you it's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful book. I was a volunteer at Los Ricos from about 2013 to about 2016, maybe 2017, I don't know exactly. And Los Ricos is where my passion for writing bilingual children's books began. So I especially wanted to introduce Carolyn. You can read more about her in the order of service. And after the service, those on Zoom are invited to stay connected and visit with others for discussion in the main room with Diane Hart, the co-author of this wonderful book, The School on the Other Side of the River, The Educational Journey of Los Ricos de Abajo. Those who are with us at the Aldea can join us for coffee and cookies and discussion with Carolyn, as well as the opportunity to purchase this book, and all profits from the book benefit scholarships for students at Los Ricos. So I feel very honored to be able to present that. Now, please welcome Laura Kirkendall for an important announcement on voter registration.
Thanks, Nina. I loved your opening remarks. Okay, I don't think this is a high enough box for me. I'm a little vertically challenged. My name is Laura Kirkendall, and I am currently the chair of Democrats Abroad San Miguel de Allende. And wow, what a group. And I recognize a lot of people, some of whom I haven't seen for a while. It's great to be among friends. Democrats Abroad is a global organization of democratic voters across the world. We have chapters in places like Ukraine and Tokyo, all over the world. So we here in San Miguel de Allende are part of Mexico, and we are the largest chapter in Mexico, something we're pretty proud of. And I know, thank you. Because we have an amazing expat community here, and I know a lot of you all are members already. So what I'm here to talk about today is voting in the United States. I don't think I need to tell you how important this election is. Primaries, state, all the way down the ballot, but of course, November 5 is huge. And we say this every year, biggest one in our lifetime. I really believe this one is. So a few facts about voting from abroad for those of you who may not be familiar. Every U.S. citizen can and should vote from abroad. We have people who come in and say, I haven't been in the United States for 50 years. How is it possible I can vote from abroad? Absolutely. The last place you lived in the United States, whether it has burned down, whether it's been turned into a parking lot, is your U.S. voting address for the rest of your life. And you are actually, we are really just an intermediary. Interesting, we get people who call us the day before an election and say, where are you? I want to come in and vote. We're not a polling place. We don't have ballots. You will be voting as a citizen of the last state you lived in. What we help you do is receive your ballot from that state and return your ballot to that state and make sure it got accepted and it will be counted. We want everybody to vote, so we try to be encouraging, but in truth, and Jim Chase and Sheila Oberst, who are big volunteers of ours, can tell you, it can be a little challenging. Every state has different rules. Some make it very easy to vote from abroad, some not so much. We have trained hard for many months for this moment. And some of us have been doing this work, helping people vote from abroad, literally for years. We like to think we know what we're doing. We've been told we do a good job. And our sole mission right now is to get those ballots back to the United States. So let me tell you where we are and where you can find us for live, in-person assistance. And I know some of y'all have visited us. We have an office in the patio area behind the cafe at Geek and Coffee at Fabrica Aurora every Monday and every Wednesday from 11 to 3. So you can vote online, and that's a perfectly fine option from votefromabroad.org. But as I say, it can be challenging. and some states will not let you do the entire process electronically. So please come see us. We're sitting there. We don't want to be bored. We're sitting there waiting to see you. We're excited to help you. So please come and visit us, and we'll get the job done. Let me just mention quickly that we are moving. We had a grand opening at Geek, and we're gonna have another grand opening. We are moving to a actual private enclosed office space at Hacienda La Aurora, which is on the same street as Fabrica Aurora, a little closer to Centro. It's next to Casa Carly. There's kind of an alleyway with some really fun, interesting shops, a great restaurant down there, and we are going to be there starting February 15, Thursdays and Fridays, 11 to 3. We will be closed in the month of May, but we will literally be there up until the day before the election. Because once you receive your ballot, you also have to return it, and that's not always easy. We also want to urge you to join our organization. No cost, no membership fees, no obligation, but it is the best way. We send a monthly newsletter. It is the best way to find out where we are, to help you with voter assistance, some reminders about voting, and where our social events are. We're not just, about voting and democracy in the US. We're fun. We have 3 social events every month, and they are purely for fun and meeting like-minded people. So I think I've probably gone on too long, Nora. I am going to actually leave cards with Jim Chase, who's in the back, and I totally mean this. If you have any questions about voting, where we are, how to join, just email me personally, and I promise I will answer you. So I really appreciate your giving me your time this morning. Thank you all.
Hello. These opening words are by Parker Palmer. Service is reaching in toward our own wholeness, reaching out toward the world's needs, and trying to live our lives at the intersection. We will now light the chalice. UUs all over the world light the chalice as a symbol of the light reaching into the darkness. Now, let's join our voices in song, and we have hymn 134. Please stand and remain standing for the covenant.
Sing it with me.
Thank you for standing. We will now say our unique covenant, and Diego will help with the Spanish. We respect the interdependent web of life and work for a just and peaceful world. We encourage the search for truth and meaning in our relationships and seek values that will benefit our lives and the lives of others. This is our covenant.
Respetamos todos los estilos de vida dentro de su red interdependiente y trabajamos por un mundo justo y pacífico. Alentamos la búsqueda de la verdad y la comprensión total. Nos esforzamos por mantener compasión en nuestras relaciones y buscamos valores que beneficien nuestras vidas y las vidas de los demás. Este es nuestro convenio.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jurgen Ahlers. I'm a member of the Sunday Service Committee. A beloved community shapes itself foremost through meaningful relationships that sustain the well-being of the whole. In the 5.5 years that I've been a member of this wonderful community, I've witnessed the deepening of relationships in many, many ways. The values expressed in the covenant that we just shared were the essential magnet that pulled me to this community, to this fellowship's dynamic. Whether they were one-on-one or group-on-group relationships, they were the magnet. So in this spirit, we now enter that special part of our Sunday service where we share any joy, sorrow, or concern that members of this beloved community wish us to light a flame representing a joy or a concern. Let me remind you that anytime you may have a joy or concern for the following Sunday, we invite you to send that concern or that joy to our minister, Tom Rosiello, at his email, which you'll find at our website, UUFSMA.org. And for those of you who are joining us this morning on Zoom, if you would, please, if you have a joy concern, please type it into the chat box, and Nora will, or perhaps I will be able to read it. Last week I couldn't read it. We'll read it and share it with you all. So it's actually a rare, very rare week that Tom doesn't receive a joy or a sorrow or a concern. This is one of them. But as to my delight, when I came in the door this morning, I learned of a couple of joys and concerns, and I share them with you right now. Robin mentioned to me, today is Iván Méndez's birthday, our wonderful communications manager. He does the newsletter. I think the newsletter has significantly improved. He is not here. He is down in Oaxaca, but he does a tremendous job in all levels of communication for our fellowship. He is right now suffering the flu, but the good thing is he's recovering quite well. So we light a candle for Iván. I was just given this 3x5 card by Bill Dowsimer. It's my joy to thank all friends of Janet for their support and to report that Janet is resting and recovering quite well. We light the candle of thanksgiving and joy that Janet is doing better than she was last Sunday. Light that candle. Okay, another thank you. Are there any of the 3x5 cards that may have been submitted? No? Okay. I would like to have us light a flame for anyone who simply didn't get around this week to emailing it or simply didn't think that it was something to share publicly. I personally know several members of our fellowship who are struggling with physical, emotional, or financial issues that stand in the way to their well-being. So we light this flame, letting them know that we care. I would like to light a candle also of joy and thanksgiving for those folk who work their fingers to the bone every week, bringing us delicious delectables. We call cookies at our cookie table. They work relentlessly, and we light a candle of thanksgiving and joy for them. And I want to remind you, again, because of our wonderful, two weeks ago, we had this wonderful birthday celebration that Nora and Don celebrated for January birthdays, and there was significant expense for that. We hope we can defray some of those expenses if you would donate into the baskets on the cookie table to help defray some of the expenses for the mariachi band that was with us almost an hour, and for the reservation of the tables and what have you. I know we are weary lighting this next candle, as we've been doing it now for 101 weeks, 101 Sundays, namely lighting a flame for the millions of lives traumatized due to the unprovoked war waged by the Russian government against the people of Ukraine. And of course, for the many thousands whose lives have simply been snuffed out. We light that candle. For those of us who remember the unthinkable devastation of wars waged during the 20th century, and we thought humankind had finally come to its senses and lost a distaste for waging barbarism, resulting in national narcissism, well, we know better now, don't we, unfortunately. So also over these last 3 months almost, we feel the need to light a flame for the devastation of the Israeli-Hamas war and the resulting threat of a widening conflict. We light this pink candle representing hope that the Israelis and the Palestinians will live truly as neighbors, respecting the worth and the dignity of every individual, as our covenant says it, no matter their religion, their national background, or their historical heritage. Thank you, Diego. We have a concern on the Zoom. From Mary Sondgeroth, we are requested to give prayers for Judy McKay's daughter, Lindy, who is still in ICU here in San Miguel. We light a candle for concern for Lindy. From Robert Wunder, a concern and joy for my old dog, Raj, R-A-J. He collapsed and was unable to walk, and after 3 days in hospital, he is improving, and will be in rehab soon. Huh. That's great. That makes me feel great. From Crystal, Michael, concerned that the house we rented has been broken into by someone who has keys when we weren't here and stole a bank card. We had this happen before, and we are tired of being stolen from and being forced to live in a dangerous and unhealthy place. Oh, I put my finger in the wrong place and I lost whatever else there was. Not being a techie, I'm not sure, what do I do? I think there was one more. I shouldn't have put my finger on this thing. Thank you. There you go. Actually, I was mistaken. There wasn't another one. So now we have the great pleasure and honor of having Yoremem Jocobi inspiring us with her beautiful music. And as she plays, we invite any and all of you who have a concern or joy to light a candle right in front here.
Good morning. I want to introduce you to my friend, Yoremem Jocobi. Okay. Closer. She is a proud member of the Yaqui Yoremem community from the state of Sonora, and she's wearing a traditional costume from her indigenous group. She's going to be singing a couple of songs in her own language. And the first song is about a woman called Lina Choki. And Lina Choki was a woman who was a shepherd, and she would take care of her sheep in the valley. And the song was written for the nanny that Yoremem grew up with when she was a little girl growing up in the state of Sonora. So Lina Choki.
Chiban swaya se kasiko mai no likisi Chiban swaya se kasiko Lina Choki tebe kuali maki Kichiban sengueria ai kim gaiki ai kichiban sengueria Lina Choki Swaya se casiko, mai no likisi. Chivan swaya se casiko, lina choki ebe kwari maki. Tirata sawe si me caviera pati. Tirata sawe si me lina choki haroko si maki.
Thank you, Yoremem. That was beautiful. I'm so thrilled to introduce the next person. She's a poet. Well, first, when I met her, she was a student. She's a poet, she's an author, and she's a lawyer. She's a student from Los Ricos de Abajo, Yessenia, Ramírez. And today she's going to read her wonderful poem, So Said My Father. She will read it first in English and then in Spanish. Yessenia.
Thank you. And my poem called it So Say My Father, and is so say my father, you are your own medicine, and your ancestors are too. This land that saw you grow up is you. To go back to your roots is always healing, for it means a re-encounter with yourself, a remembering of your essences. You are made from your roots, from your land. So say my father, in your blood you carry the courage of your ancestors. I remember when you used to fall off the horses, you pick yourself up without a calm and remounted. You had no need of shoes. We recall you running barefoot everywhere, happy, singing, climbing trees, however high, playing with the snakes, defying the current of the swollen river. So say my father, with this crazy tale you now speak, what are you now afraid of? Who made you doubt yourself? Go back to your roots, find the little girls to unmanned little girl who was afraid nothing of nor body, such a headache for her mother, with her stubbornness, willful and disobedient, but in the end, careful of her life. I promise you that today, for all the difference, she is a source of pride for you. Go back to being her, so say my father. And don't lock me away just because I'm unhappy. I need to be with my people. I like you. I was born to live free. And if I die, I want to meet it on my own soil with a bottle in my hand. You are composed of the stars and have learning to shine Let no one extinguish your light. So say my father, and so many things I understood. Ahora lo diré en inglés. Lo dijo mi padre. La medicina eres tú, son tus ancestros, es tu tierra que te vio crecer. Volver a tus orígenes siempre sana, pues es reencontrarte contigo. Recordar tu esencia, estás hecha de raíces, de tierra, dijo mi padre. Llevas en la sangre la valentía de tus ancestros. Te recuerdo que si caías de los caballos, te levantabas sin miedo y volvías a subir. No te hacían falta zapatos, te recordamos corriendo descalza por todos lados, feliz y cantando, subiendo a los árboles por más altos que fueran, jugando con serpientes vivas, desafiando las corrientes del río crecido. Dijo mi padre, a la chiflada lo que dices, que tienes miedo, ¿quién te hizo dudar de ti? Vuelve a tus orígenes, esa niña salvaje, la que no tenía miedo de nada ni de nadie, la que fue el dolor de cabeza de su madre por ser terca, testaruda y desobediente, pero responsable con su vida a fin de cuentas. Te aseguro que a pesar de tus diferencias, hoy eres su orgullo. Vuelve a ser tú, dijo mi padre. Ya no me encierres porque no soy feliz. Yo necesito estar en mi pueblo. Soy como tú. Yo nací para ser libre y si muero, quiero morir en mi tierra y con mi botella en la mano. Estás hecha de estrellas y has aprendido a brillar. No dejes que nadie apague tu luz, dijo mi padre. Y comprendí tantas cosas. Gracias.
Que chamaleya haji semani. Tu isine aleya en chayaka. Si me aleya, hewi. Inapo Yoremem Jocobi tu isine aleya en chimtayaka. Inapo tu isine aleya wikbare aleya. Yoremem Jocobi, estoy muy contenta de estar aquí con ustedes. Te agradezco a Dios por darme esta oportunidad. Thank you very much for inviting me. Voy a cantar I Will to Sing Tenavari. Capullos de mariposa. Es un traditional deer song from Mayo Yaqui people. Cuando el aire suena, te estremeces y hace la música en el monte. Yo te nebulice guasio, yo te Yahweh, se llegó a lo cuyata, namasukuni se no cuyapa, Pakuri, Hakopocha, Kasewati, Huyame. Yo te nebolice, guasio, yo ti huyawe. Se llegó a la tunata. Namasukuni, se no cuya pakuri. Hakopocha, Kasewati, Huyame. Se llegó a lo huyatana, Hakupunusa, no cuya, papakuri. Hakopocha kasewati huyame. Yo te nebolice guasio yo ti huyawe. Se llegó a lo huyata. Namasukuni se no kuyapa. Akuri hakopocha kasewati huyame. Yo te nebolice guasio yo ti huyawe. Se llegó a lo huyata. Namasukuni se no huyapa. Pakuri hakopocha kasewati huyame. Dios em chocoreutesi. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Soy Yoremem, Inapo Yoremem. Y soy trovador. De eso vivo. Dicen que por la noche no más se le iba puro llorar. Dicen que no dormía, no más se le iba en puro tomar. Juran que el mismo cielo se estremecía al oír su llanto. Cómo sufrió por ella que hasta en su muerte la fue llamando. Cucurru, cucú. Ay, 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 paloma. Ay, 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 no llores. Paloma triste, muy de mañana, te va a cantar a la casita sola con sus puertitas de par en par. Juran que esa paloma no es otra cosa más que su alma, que todavía le espera que regrese la desdichada. Vamos cantando, Mario. Cucurru, cucú. No llores. Las piedras como paloma que van a saber de amores. Cucurru, cucú. Cucurru, cucú. Paloma, paloma, ya no la llores.
Yoremem for that wonderful music. Yoremem is very involved in preserving the music of her culture, and she goes and visits the people and collects songs and is helping preserve this wonderful culture. Well, okay. I'm here to talk about an English tutoring program in the village of Los Ricos de Abajo, what it has meant to me as a volunteer. You've heard Yessenia's powerful voice in her amazing poem. In the book, we've tried to capture the voices of all the participants, the volunteers, the students, Lucha, the principal of the school, and everyone involved. It's been a group effort, a village, if you will. The program, under the auspice of Feed the Hungry, has been going on for 19 plus years. Diane Hart, who's co-author of the book, cannot be with us in person, is joining us on Zoom from Corvallis, Oregon, was director of the program. In 2020, just as the pandemic hit, Diane and I decided we wanted to write a book about the tutoring program, to record what has taken place there, and hopefully to inspire others to start similar initiatives. So Diane and I wrote the book by emailing and meeting on Zoom. There are other authors and voices in the book as well. You'll meet Suzanne Bacon, who's doing a fantastic job in taking on the leadership of the program. Yessenia, who's not only a poet, she's written extensively about her life growing up in Los Ricos. You'll hear from other students as well, as they share their points of view of life in Los Ricos and the experience of the program. You'll read Lucha's story, the former principal of the school. You'll read how Feed the Hungry first came to Los Ricos in the opening chapter. Lucha and Suzanne, would you please stand up for us? Un momentito, por favor. You'll read about the volunteers who've contributed so much of their time and treasure to the program. If you've ever been or are at present a Los Ricos volunteer, would you please stand? I know there are a lot of you here. Okay, thank you. You see on the cover of the book, Lucha, I think it's up there, I can't see. Okay, Lucha Ramírez, the principal of the elementary school. The picture shows Lucha, as she says in younger days, on what was a pedestrian bridge which had lost its planks. Once, when the river was a raging torrent, intrepid Lucha got to school on that tightrope. And I'm so glad we have that picture. The tightrope is symbolic of the balancing act, of taking risks, and I think everybody who's ever taught school knows that, of taking risks, of finding a way, of reaching for handholds, one step at a time. In the book, you'll find not only Lucha's story as she directed the school at Los Ricos over the entire 30 years of her teaching career, you'll find the voices of the students who went on to secundaria, prepa, and university with scholarships provided by the program. You'll find the story of Yessenia, whose poem she just shared. You will also hear of the volunteer teachers, their perspective as they came back year after year, and what the program has meant to them. There's a constant turnover of teachers in rural schools of Mexico. Once a teacher has teaching experience, usually in 2 years, he or she may put in for a transfer to a school in town. So there's that constant turnover. Not so with Lucha. Despite the difficulties of taking a bus, walking 40 minutes on a dirt road, always with a stick in hand to ward off an aggressive dog, and crossing a sometimes swollen river, Lucha stayed with Los Ricos. She loved the students and the village. When I look at the central photo of Lucha on the tightrope, I see what a metaphor it is for the growth of the program and for us, taking risks, putting ourselves out there, one foot in front of the other, not sure how it's going to land, deciding what we're going to do, but not taking over someone else's turf, balancing and feeling our way. It didn't happen all at once. As Diane Hart stated, we took baby steps, grew where we saw the need, pulled back when it didn't work, and continued to show up year after year, balancing on the tightrope, inventing as we went along, asking what was needed. Diane, our director, a fluent Spanish speaker, and Principal Lucha became close friends. Volunteers might have ideas, see something they wanted to try or implement. Diane would speak to Lucha. Could a group of prepa students attend the San Miguel Writers' Conference for a week in San Miguel? Lucha would then discuss it with the mothers, who made the ultimate decision, yes or no. First to Lucha, from Lucha to the mothers. So it was with everything the program initiated. Diane spoke with Lucha and then Lucha with the mothers. We credit this close communication and rapport with a large part of the success of the program, not imposing anything, but discussing, reaching consensus, and working together. Early on in the program, Lucha came to us saying the mothers wanted to serve the volunteers lunch on program days. Oh no, we said, we can bring our own lunch. They don't need to bother giving us lunch. Lucha looked right at us and said, you will take the lunch. Here we were on the tightrope, learning the cherished value of reciprocity. It was an important point of pride for the village to give back. They needed to show appreciation for what the volunteers in the program brought to their children. The lunch, like much of life in Los Ricos, is a collective effort. Mothers bring their cooking pots of carefully prepared dishes and tortillas, all arranged on a colorful tablecloth in the comedor. We volunteers eat lunch during the hour the secundaria and prepa students are walking back from school into Tontonilco. There's delicious meal of nopal, tomatoes, beans, sometimes pasta, rice, sometimes chicken, and always agua fresca. It is time for sharing and anticipation. It was and is transformative for us, a learning experience. One does not only give, one must receive. Yes, the experience has been transformative for me as an individual, as for other volunteers involved in the project, as well as the students, the parents, and the village. The two-way nature of giving and receiving in a context of our lives. Volunteering can be transformative to the volunteer as a giver and a receiver. It works both ways. Of course, when John and I started volunteering at Los Ricos 17 years ago, we just wanted to help out. I had retired from teaching and John from a career as an administrator in the Department of Mental Health in state government. We kept going back year after year when the program started in January. What was it that was drawing us? It was a compilation of many things, which actually I've come to understand and appreciate so much better through reflecting and working on the book. Yes, a day at Los Ricos is busy. It's time-consuming. Teachers make lesson plans before going out on Wednesday, which are shared with fellow teachers. We've been able to fine-tune the lessons, building learning on a previous lesson, while meeting identified needs of the students. It's very rewarding to see students engage with a lesson and learn, to see students set goals and work to achieve them, and along the way, celebrate with them, whether at the end of the season fiesta or at family events, which have included us over the years. Volunteers have been invited to quinceañeras, graduations, and weddings. Reciprocity. Yes, volunteers come home from a day at Los Ricos exhausted. It's a good kind of exhaustion. For the hours we've been at Los Ricos, the focus has been on what we are doing, focused on the students and their needs. So much positive interaction. No fixing, no saving, no imposing. We're walking a tightrope of engagement. We are having fun. For the period at the school, we are outside of ourselves and our day-to-day concerns. John's favorite aha moment at Los Ricos involves the kindergarten. He remembers one of the early days when teachers had made cards with various pictures and words on them. They held up a picture of a cow and explained to the kindergarten group, "This is a cow." The children laughed, hooted, and screamed, "No, es una vaca!" The teachers persevered, holding up a red card. "Esto es el color red." Again, the same reaction. "No, es rojo." After a few more illustrations, the children got it. There was such a thing as a different language, which these foreigners spoke. The children, many of whom were just learning Spanish vocabulary, were introduced to the idea that there could be a different language and they could learn it. They soon realized the fact that many of us were not bilingual. We were learning Spanish as they learned English. We often asked students, ¿Qué es la palabra en español por esto? Over the years, one of the The goals of the program has been providing opportunity and exposure to the world outside of Los Ricos. It started with the building of the Library Learning Center, where every child could check out 2 books every week to take home. There have been field trips, opportunities for computer classes, year-round English classes in San Miguel, opportunities to attend the Writers' Conference. Again, all these initiatives first went to Lucha and then to the mothers for approval. In the rural public schools of Mexico, there are no guidance counselors. We all can bear witness to the strong work ethic of the Mexican people, but we found that students in the upper grades had no idea of the variety of jobs and careers which could be open to them with further education and training. In the 10th through 12th grades, classes teach English, but also explore the idea of skills and interests, the importance of knowing one's strengths and building on them. Students learn what opportunities for jobs and careers are available here in Mexico, making it possible to remain in Mexico, to have financial security, and to not have to leave their families. There is still the pull to go to work and earn money at an early age, but every year of formal education helps. When we started the scholarship program, we thought all the students would want to finish at least high school. But again, the need to get a job and earn money is a strong one. In addition to the personal growth afforded by education, every year of further education proves beneficial in employment, as is some knowledge of English. You've heard Yessenia's poem, So Said My Father. Yessenia received advice from her father. Know your essence. Know who you are. She takes in her father's words, realizing they have been passed down to him from the ancestors. This is the kind of learning that Gerald Hart, an author, wrote about in The 5 Ages of Man. That's Gerald Hurd. He calls it heart knowledge, what we learn as children that connects us. And so Yessenia shares her story of her life beyond the idyllic childhood of growing up, of the confusion, the challenges, and her desire for education, the stuff of life. She finds her way. We recently had the honor of attending Yessenia and Jose Iván's church wedding and glorious reception. When we started writing the book, we asked our graduates to respond to questions about growing up in Los Ricos, their memories of the program, where they are currently in terms of their personal lives, and they responded. It's so rewarding to hear about the difference in their lives when Feed the Hungry program came to the school, how they enjoyed the lunches, the variety of foods, and learning about good nutrition. The students have written of the arrival of the volunteer English teachers, the library with books they could check out and take home, and the learning center with the availability of Wi-Fi and computers. They've written about the opportunity to go on a field trip to a company in Querétaro, going to classes at the Writers' Conference, winning a prize for writing, taking classes at Casa Lord in San Miguel. They've written about hearing presentations from older students who graduated from university, what they were doing, their jobs and dreams for the future. And it's inspired them to continue their studies. And they've written about how they hope to return someday and talk to students, to reciprocate, to give back. They also have written about what it was like to grow up in Los Ricos, the freedom, swimming in the river, horseback riding, the tranquility, the closeness to cousins, uncles, aunts, grandparents, sisters, and brothers. They've written about the values passed down to them from parents and grandparents. They've written about how they wouldn't change any of it. It was a gift to us when the students responded. It was an affirmation seen through their lives. Before the program came to Los Ricos, only one boy had graduated from high school. Now, thanks to scholarships available to all students in the 6th grade, any student can go on for further study. We now have 12 students who've graduated or are currently in university. You may ask, isn't secundaria and prepa free in Mexico? The fact is there are school fees, the cost of books, uniforms, lunches, which amounts to about $200 for secundaria and $400 for prepa. If there are several children in the family, this expense is prohibitive, and the reason students did not continue past the 6th grade. Lucha, although retired, continues to help the students by being our contact person. She visits homes when the school year starts, distributing the scholarship funds and keeping detailed records. Going out to Los Ricos has often felt as if we joined Lucha on her tightrope. Giving and receiving has been a learning experience. You grow when you take risks. We're not always the givers, we are the receivers as well. We go home tired from our day, the kind of tired that comes from living in the moment, focused on where we are and what we are doing. It is the chance to step outside ourselves. Writing this book has made me reflect on all those who have helped me on my life's journey. Going to Los Ricos has given me the opportunity to give back, to share my gratitude for all I have received in my life. Now, there should be a picture of the closing fiesta, which is a wonderful event that the village puts on for us, and they feed us the best mole ever. There's the Old Man Dance, which is a traditional folk dance of Michoacan. The dancers wearing elderly face masks arrive limping, using canes. The music starts, and they begin to move with the music. They become animated. The music becomes more lively. The old men throw down their canes and dance. And this is what happens when we engage in what our lives here in Mexico have to offer. So it happened. This fall, the book, The School on the Other Side of the River, The Educational Journey of Los Ricos de Abajo, was published by Wild Rising Press. Copies of the book will be available after the service. If you're joining from Zoom, you may order from Amazon. If you're in San Miguel, the book is also available at Aurora Bookshop and the gift shop at the Biblioteca. The cost is 350 pesos. All proceeds from the book go to the Los Ricos Scholarship Fund. We hope you enjoy the book and come to understand what has motivated us to stick with the program and walk a tightrope of giving and receiving, teaching and learning, changing and growing. These closing words are by Maureen Killoran, and please, we will have a little postlude by Yoremem, and please stay seated for that, and then you may have a chance to visit and to purchase the book. No matter how weak or how frightened we may feel, we each have gifts that can make a difference in the world. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support the broken, to welcome the stranger, to celebrate what is worthy, to do the work of justice and love. Be strong. Be connected. Each day act so you may be a little more whole.
Thank you, Carolyn. That was very inspiring. It's an important and life-changing opportunity for those students. Bravo. Throughout our 37 years in this Unitarian fellowship, other members of this UU fellowship have also been involved with founding and sustaining a number of other dramatically successful NGOs here in San Miguel. It's who we are. It's who we are as Unitarian Universalists. And we are very proud of our commitment to serve our community. The latest important step to demonstrate our commitment to service was the vote this past August to establish a new wing of our fellowship. It is the UUFSMA Social Justice Foundation. Since August, so much has happened. We have named the 5-member governance committee of the new foundation. We have opened bank accounts completely separate from the fellowship. We have successfully raised early funds to keep our past NGOs funded during this transition. And the foundation governors are busy with several new projects which will expand our social justice impact. I'm very proud to serve as chair of this new foundation and today get to wear my brand new yellow name tag. 2 weeks from today, on Sunday, February 11, we will have an exciting service of celebration to officially dedicate our new Social Justice Foundation and to meet and charge our 5 governors. Please plan to join us for this historic celebration, February 11. It will also be the launch of our first ever Gifts for Good campaign, with all gifts going directly to the foundation for support of our carefully vetted local NGOs. Just as our December pledges went to support the UU Fellowship with its ministry and services for members, the upcoming February Gifts for Good campaign will support our new foundation's social justice grants. In coming days, we invite you to join us in visiting and experiencing firsthand the impressive NGOs we support. Just this past Friday, about 12 of us visited FAI, Fundación Apoyo Infantil. And we have 2 more visits coming up soon. Tuesday, February 6, we will visit a pueblo served by Patronato Pro Niños. Thursday, February 15, we will visit SILA, the Centro Infantil de Los Ángeles. Join us. Space is limited, so sign up now. Look for any of our foundation governors with our new yellow name tags to sign up, and we will email you more details in the foundation's column in our UUF newsletter. Please keep an eye on that column. Also, on the fellowship's website, it's already been updated with an expanded section about our new foundation. We invite you to check it out today. It's pretty easy to remember. You guys have got it cold on the UUFSMA.org. So just add a /foundation, and that will take you to all the goodies about the foundation. So thank you for keeping the upcoming Social Justice Gifts for Good campaign in mind. Remember, it launches in 2 more Sundays on February 11th. For today's offering, thank you for your gifts to the fellowship with your pledges and your extra pesos, which go to our regular fellowship offering, which goes to support our wonderful mothership fellowship. Today's offering will now be collected and most gratefully received.
Soy vecina de este mundo por un rato y coincide que también tú estás aquí. Coincidencias tan extrañas de la vida. Tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio y coincidir. Si navego con la mente en los espacios y prefiero a mis ancestros retornar, agobiada me detengo y no imagino tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio y coincidir. Si en la noche me entretengo en las estrellas y capturo la que empieza a florecer, la sostengo entre mis manos, más me alarma tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio y coincidir. Si la vida se sostiene por instante y un instante es el momento de existir, si tú vives otro instante no comprendo tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio y coincidir. Y coincidir.
I just want everyone to understand that we actually have voter registration table here in the room during coffee hour, if you want to go do that. Okay? So we're going to begin the hymn.
We're going to join our voices together in song.
1 and 4 only. Verses 1 and verses
4. Hymn 121, We'll Build a Land. We're going to sing verses 1 and 4 only.
We'll build a land where the down from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, we'll build the land, my people will say.